Welcome to the official housing market podcast of the Massachusetts Association of Realtors. My name is Eric Berman, and I am your host and the association's communications director. I am joined today by 2016 MAI President Annie Blatz. Annie is the branch executive at Kinlan Grover Real Estate on Cape Cod. Hello, Annie, and thank you for joining me today on this podcast to talk about the March 2016 housing numbers.
Hi, Eric. Nice to be here today.
Okay, Annie, sales were up for the third straight month in 2016, which isn't a new story. Now, do you have anything to add?
I think all the same factors are there in the market, like we've been saying for the last months. Buyer demand continues to be very strong. Interest rates are very low. There is a lack of homes for sale. However, there was another big increase in closed sales this March, and I believe it's still related to last year's winter. Anyone who has listened to this podcast over the years has heard us talk about the average amount of time from signing of the purchase and sale agreement to the closing being anywhere from 60 to 90 days. Looking back a year ago, this would put March closed sales in the range of buyers who were out looking at properties and making offers amongst snowbanks, ice dams, and constant storms. These types of increases could potentially continue in April as well.
Okay, now, Annie, the March median prices ticked up again. Any reasons why?
Well, let's think about the weather again. But first, I wanted to talk about price in the broader sense. When it comes to selling your home, price is only one part of a multi-part equation that a seller needs to consider. There is also a commitment that a seller makes when listing their home for sale. If you have to sell, something like weather isn't going to stop that process from happening most of the time. But what the weather can do is change some of the factors that go into marketing the home. When there is a foot of snow on the ground, reducing the price is one way to attract attention. With the market conditions we have today, that type of tactic isn't as necessary. Because of that, we're seeing a spread in the numbers from the year before. The general feeling of the realtors who I meet across the state is that prices are starting to moderate. However, that could change based on where this April sales ends up going.
Okay, Annie, let's talk about inventory. It's down again, and again, not new. These are things that we're seeing this trend over and over again. Now, with prices near all-time highs, I was wondering, why aren't there more sellers selling?
Well, that's a really good question. And I know I've mentioned the need for more production as one of the keys, but there are a few more things that don't get talked about so much. There are some folks who would like to sell but are underwater. Prices go up and down, which is common, but if you use the equity in your home as an ATM, then you might not be back to a place where you can sell. Of course, this is all predicated on whether you're able to still afford the mortgage payment. There are also some owners who bought at the peak of the market and holding out for a bigger profit. And many baby boomers are not ready to retire yet and are holding on to their homes longer versus transitioning to smaller homes or homes in retirement communities. These are just some of the other factors we're seeing.
Okay, now my last question, Annie, has to do with our hot topic question that we asked realtors as part of our monthly confidence index survey. What has open house traffic been like in the first quarter, and what does that mean?
Well, I'd first like to mention that not all realtors use open houses as a marketing tool, and some clients don't want to have them. However, most listings do take advantage of them. The first quarter was very busy in terms of open house attendance. Of the realtors who responded to the survey, 47% said that quarter was busier than normal, while 16% said it was the busiest ever. In fact, I had one realtor tell me they had a listing that had over 200 people come through it in one open house. Buyers love going to open houses because it gives them a good understanding of the market and what they are able to afford. We've been talking about strong buyer demand, and open houses are one good way to judge that. Now, 22% said it was business as usual, and 4% said it was weaker than normal. As you can tell, we're seeing a lot of traffic at open houses.
Okay, Annie, that's really all I have for this month. Thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to speaking with you again next month on this podcast.